Hope you guys had a great Halloween. I know I was going to tell you do on a Friday, but with the stuff happening around here, I'm not going to go into it. Okay. Yesterday, before Halloween, I did a segment where we talked about one October Halloween. I'll put the link on top of the video and the annotation above so that you're going to start talking about it. I want to talk about the other point that I didn't make in the previous video. Why costumes are not allowed in school. It really got to the point where there was a letter from the school saying that Halloween's going to be a distraction to the learning environment, so it specifically stated not to wear costumes. So I shared it. I shared it onto the group called You Know You from the Bluff. And right away, people started commenting. So what about the little kids? Well, if Latchkey decides it's okay, then it's okay. But if the school says, no costumes, then you need to bring a change of clothes. So the question is, why aren't costumes allowed to be worn in school? Because it's against the rules. Why is it a rule? Well, because it's a distraction to the educational environment. And when we say it's a distraction, we mean like this. I mean, going back to the hats, well, people just wear their hats downwards, sideways, backwards. That's a distraction. Like masks. It's a dress code violation. I mean, well, because it's a rule. I don't know. I can't even get the exact reason. You might as well have to ask your principal why, or the administration why. I think the main reason here is because it is a distraction, but the main reason here for that is an issue for everyone. Like, they're just focusing on the costume more than the learning. Because you go to school to learn, not to wear costumes. I mean, you may wear your costume and say, come up with the biggest lie ever, like, it was costume day. Or your parents weren't home. You may think it's funny, like, going to school in a gorilla costume. That's against the rules. That's a distraction to the learning environment, I mean. That's a dress code violation. Y'all know how I feel about dress code violations. Like skulls on t-shirts, it's a distraction. I mean, you may sit there with your excuse like, oh, come on, it's the U.S., we're supposed to be independent. It's a free country. I mean, what about your rights? Well, you have rights. Well, yes, you have rights. But you do not have the right to break the rules. If you go to prison, you'll feel like it's a whole. School's like prison, you might say. Well, if you go to prison, you'll find it's a whole lot different than prison. But seriously, the thing you have to remember here is that if you want to wear a t-shirt supporting your favorite superhero, that's your costume. That's okay. No one has a problem with it. Like, if you want to wear your Justice League costume, that's okay. Your Superman costume, you want to wear your Superman shirt, that's okay. But no cape. Batman shirt, no cape. Spidey t-shirt, no mask. Just a regular superhero t-shirt. That's okay. If your principal says, sorry, we can't do this, it's not allowed, then you need to bring a change of clothes with you at all times, period. There is no but about it. Say with your principal, ask you, why did you wear a costume to school? Because it's Halloween. Your excuse is because it's Halloween. And when your principal asks, what happened when you left the house this morning? You might say, well, because it was costume day. I mean, the post. I mean, your parents didn't read the post that Mr. Crenshaw sent. If they haven't read it, then they're like they don't care. If it's the rule that your principal wants, if this is what Crenshaw wants to enforce, this is what your principal wants to enforce. You can't go to the school board and argue with. You can't go to the principal and argue with him saying this is not fair. You can't go to the school board and argue with the school board saying, hey, this isn't fair. I should choose to wear my costume. The bottom line here is, do not be wearing your costumes to school, period. Next Halloween, don't wear costumes to school. For little kids, I think it's kind of a latchkey thing. Latchkey allows this to happen. It's up to latchkey. But the dress code still has to be in place. And the rules of the school district is that the principal has to enforce a dress code that is set forth in this school. No holes in pants, no chains. Because it's a weapon, no spurs. That's a weapon also. Why is a spur a weapon? Well, good question. I mean, take that in between the fingers, get somebody hurt. I mean, I don't care if like the sound of your spurs or something, but it's not allowed. You cannot be wearing spurs in the school building, period. They're going to get somebody hurt. I don't care if they're sharp, they're metal, they're heavy, metal, and they're in violation of the dress code. That's it. There is no but about it. You get that? There is no but about it. So, again, the bottom line is this. Don't violate the dress code. Just wear your standard shorts, pants, flip-flops, no pants and holes, clean shaven, no hats, no hoods. None of that. Because it's a distraction to the educational process. I mean, you're here to go to school, get your diploma, get your education, and then move on with your life. But you do things that interrupt that process. Disrespecting teachers, violating a dress code, getting suspended, that interrupts the process. There was no but about it. We got a lot more still ahead. We have the, I'm going to talk to you about the petition that's been going all around about a fan of mine who is head of security. We're going to talk about that later. But next, it's in the news every day. The two bodies that were on Padre Island. We're going to tell you straight up. We're going to tell you the straight up facts about these bodies that were on Padre Island, that happened on Padre Island, here on Padre Island. And what the latest is and what the latest is. There's been a funeral that happened yesterday. Happened on yesterday or Friday. We're going to tell you all about that when we come back. Alright, let's get this out of the way. It's in the news every day. James and Michelle Butler. They were camping in Texas. They were camping in Texas, and all of a sudden they were missing, and their bodies were buried on the beach. And they were found buried. But the sheriff's office in Texas said Friday the bodies were finally this week identified. But the remains. But the medical examiner in Corpus Christi, Texas, has ruled death homicides. The relatives found a missing person report. The deputy located the woman's remains in a shallow grave. The man's body was later discovered under hers. The sister says her brother wanted to travel around the country and his wife, and they decided to visit the South Texas coast. They said law enforcement officials told her they acquired the footage that shows her brother's RV crossing into Mexico and someone who wasn't her brother at the wheel. But the investigation is still ongoing. Stay tuned. And then, and this happened, I think it was yesterday when they were on the beach. It was on the beach where they were buried. stay tuned on Bob Harp here. So, stay tuned to your local news and stay tuned to this broadcast for all the latest information about on this story. When we come back when we come back in Flower Bluff, a woman from Bluff has a petition being made in progress on a certain head of security who's been working here in Flower Bluff for 30 years. Hear what this petition is all about, and hear these accusations from other people. That story next. Let's also get this out of the way here. This happened while I was on Facebook. Someone from a Facebook group called "You Know You're from the Bluff." I'm part of that. If you know this group and you're familiar with this, you would be familiar with a post that was with a post that was before it was taken down. This young I can't pull the post because of this issue. Let's try Chrome. I can tell you the facts, but first of all, what happened was this young lady, I don't know, I can't pronounce her name, was making a petition to accuse the head of security of all these accusations. Here again, we talk about accusations. We talk about stories people accuse people of accusations like sexual abuse, sexual misconduct, sexual harassment. We deal with these kind of stories, but this may be one of the ones we've never even heard of before. Someone from a school administrator. I mean, if you were to look at people are saying that this guy, I'm not Mr. Fisher. First of all, I respect the administration. I respect the school board. People saying on the thing that Mr. Fisher is flirting with girls and I mean, he's all these accusations, flirting with girls. I mean, looking at these stories, I don't want them, but this woman's already going to the administration, getting this petition. Getting this petition in place. I respect the head of security, and I respect the school, what it's doing. But these accusations, I mean, the principal's going to be the superintendent's already been informed about this. We're waiting to hear for the phone call. It's going to be happening soon. And once that phone call happens, maybe we can know what's happening for sure, whether he did this or not. I mean, mean, you can't already accuse people of flirting with women. It's not right. I mean, Mr. Howard says if he heard these accusations before, like this is all security door. I mean, what security? I mean, security is like the head of security knows what to do. I mean, if you guys, for those of you who don't go to Floyd Bluff High School, this is how it works. The security people, Mr. Fisher is the head of security. Mr. Howard is Mr. Fisher's assistant, and Ruben, he used to be a janitor. I met him when he was a janitor at the primary. He watches the cameras. That's the whole security. Now, people are accusing Mr. Fisher of all kinds of things, like I wouldn't even. Like, if I were to pull this up, you wouldn't understand. And with all these accusations in place, this young lady is making is already making the petition, and the school board has to approve of this petition. So I think once the petition is in place, people who are going to be in there are going to be forced to sign it, and when the school board hits, the school board president is going to be looking at this post and being like, I can't believe this is all happening. I mean, this lady already talked to the superintendent of the schools. And then what had happened? I'm serious. When you're accused of flirting with girls, I mean, that's not like an accusation. An accusation is just something like, so let's find the post. Okay, so her post was taken down. But I'm not going to tell you, because I don't remember. But she said her post was taken down because I used names, so I was leaving. If you have any issues, they have a right to file a complaint. It's important to parents to make sure kids are treated right. I mean, what I can tell is, like, I hear these stories about people. I'm not even going to go there, but if this, like, I don't know if she's, like, ever going to be making this petition, but if she is, we got to be on our head. We need to be on our heads. We got to be ready. And I'm ready. I'm taking whatever people dish out on me. But she's not giving up on this petition. She made calls to the administration office and to speak with the superintendent. But I'm not even. I respect the school district and what it's doing. We respect all schools. We respect education and what people are trying to do for the kids. But the thing is, when you look at stories like this, you gotta wonder who's telling the truth. I mean, I think she's a parent of a child who. But she already made the calls to administration. She said, like, Josie says she already made the calls to the administration. I'm speaking to the superintendent. I mean, if you were to look at these story accusations, the administration wants to ask Mr. Fisher if it's true or not. I mean, this complaint that she already has, it's already being started. We would have to figure something out. I mean, we don't know if this post was deleted or not. We don't know if the accusations are, we don't know if these accusations are being true. We don't know. But if the she already made calls to the administration, and we'll see what the superintendent says to her. And we'll be in the very latest. And I will talk with Josie if she wants to be on the show so we can discuss this issue. I mean, so stay tuned to get me ready for the very latest on this issue here. On these two issues, the bodies that were found here in Texas, and the latest on the accusation of Mr. Fisher. And again, I'm not going off on I'm not saying that I'm not really accusing people of these accusations. I'm just saying what these accusations are. And if they were true, he would fess up to them to the school board and say, well, this is what happened and all that stuff. I mean, you can't accuse people of what happened. I mean, one of the other posts was like, accuse people like we for like lip gloss and stuff, and I mean, without the post proof, no one would understand. I mean, the post was legal because they used names. But without that post, there is no evidence. This petition cannot go on. If this petition gets signed and the principal knows about this, the school board will just be up there saying, firing the head of security for 30 years. And they would have to hire someone new to the head of security. If it was me, I would be doing the same thing that he did. I would just be doing my job and making sure that this school is safe. Period. I want to be flirting with girls. I want to be sniffing lip gloss or doing anything that post has happened. I mean, Mr. Fisher's a very good fan of mine. Is one of my favorite fans. He's the head of security, and he's my favorite fan. Because I respect education. I mean, the only reason why I go, I'll tell you, I'm not far from the school. The only reason why I go is because I get exercise. And now, the thing here is this: if he sees this video, sees this segment, accusations are going to be pointing out, the blame's going to be on me, and then he's going to tell me to take down the video. I'm just like, well, there's nothing I can't do. I mean, my show focuses on education. I'm not accusing everyone how they're doing their job. I'm just saying, like, the only thing I'm saying here is that is what's been happening ever since. I mean, from years ago, like how I'm not even going to go through that because he's going to be talking about it here. Alright. I mean, I'll be back in a moment with a preview of Tomorrow's Give Me a Break. Coming up tomorrow, Give Me a Break. It is illegal to blow grass clippings or tree leaves onto the street. We're going to tell you exactly what can happen. Also, false fire alarms and the superintendent and the wall of the superintendent. So be sure to look for that tomorrow and Give Me a Break. That's all the time we have for this Sunday. I don't do Give Me a Break weekend. This is like the very first time because I didn't do it on Friday, so I apologize for it. Next time, we're going to be sticking to 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't do weekends. Like when Dateline did Dateline Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There was like 5 days a week. So I'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Monday at 4 Eastern, at 4:30 Eastern, 4 Central. Till then, have a good night, everyone. Until next time, America.